Hello. I will say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Uh, Lovely day here in Detroit. How's weather for you out in Chicagoland?
Oh my gosh, we are warm, Audrey. Um, 80s for the 80s Fahrenheit for the daytime, 50s at night, and this is planned to go that or high 70s through the end of the month.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
something going wrong?
I'm getting a huge echo. One second.
Okay.
So obviously, sorry. First live with a guest in a while. So I'm hoping that might have shut it down.
So, yeah, we had that cold spell just like you did, and it went on for 2 weeks. I was covering the things that I wanted to really save. But then now we've done this crazy warm up, and the things I covered did well, and the things I didn't. So it was all good in the end.
Okay, again, I'm sorry. I'm being
Oops, looks like we've lost Audrey. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy. But I mean, I am back in full tomato production here.
There we go. I think I'm back, and I think the
Yay!
echoes have stopped.
Good.
I'm so sorry. And I should turn my phone off too, because that'll be next. That'll start ringing in any moment. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So I'm so sorry. I was so distracted. What? Tell us quickly again what you were talking about.
No, I just said the things that I covered during that 2 week period and the things that I didn't, everything made it through.
Okay.
So I was most worried about the peppers because they hadn't finished up, and oh, probably four of the tomato types that were really loaded. I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that we could get them. But
Yeah.
but everything did well. So in the end it was, crazy. It was crazy that we got so cold there, you know,
It
during
just
that time period.
yeah. It went through some huge changes. That's where I go. How does a plant survive that kind of switch when I sure can't do that? Like,
It
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. And that the cover game is it gets old after day one. And then out there first thing to uncover it. Because you don't want them to stay covered because the daylight hours are shrinking, so you want them to have all that, you know,
Exactly, and
daylight.
you want to get them over the finish line, so to speak, right? Like
Absolutely.
this is the time you need the sun, but you don't need to be a mile from it right now. We like, I kind of think we should just get those big, huge umbrellas and put those up so it just covers all of it with a like, there might be something to that.
The tweener clothing, the stuff between summer and winter and the
Yes,
well, I have tweener clothing and I never seem to be able to get to wear it.
because
Because
you can wear it for half a day,
yeah,
twice a year, if you're lucky,
exactly.
if you're really on it.
Exactly.
Well, hey,
Oh,
let me say hi to a few folks that we have out here in the internet. I see that Carrie is here, and Andrew, and Rob. Oh, Rob, you got in early. Tom, Jersey Dave, Robin is here.
I am.
And Jean. Always good to see all of you. So thanks so much for being here. So today I have asked the Queen of Seed Saving to come and share her, and I'm not making fun of her at all. She really is the Queen of Seed Saving. She is going to share her vast knowledge with us. Uh, so I hope you brought questions if you have any, because that lady is your answer queen right there.
If I've done it, I'm your answer queen.
But you will have a lot. I think I'm hoping between the two of us, we might be able to. But I know that you are head and shoulders above me just based on your experience. Uh, okay, so Robin happens to be now. Robin is at Robin Gardens here on YouTube. Does a lovely YouTube channel, and I think you've done a couple of specials on seed saving, haven't
Seed
you?
saving, yeah, I have.
Well, she's also part of this really cool group, and I'm going to let you introduce them so I don't say it incorrectly. Really cool group that I wish existed around where I am.
Yeah. So we happen to have a second house up in Door County, Wisconsin, because it was my husband's parents' home, and we inherited it. And we're going to try to keep two houses as long as we can. But because we're up there, I got involved um, with a group called the Door County Seed Library. It's attached to their Master Gardeners group, and they do all kinds of projects across the peninsula. But their big thing is seed saving and teaching people how to become independent and save their own seed. Uh, they have a whole system through the libraries on the peninsula to distribute free seeds to anybody who stops in, whether they're a member of the library or not. And that's what I save seeds for, is to give away in that system. And literally, someone could go in there and do most of their garden from seeds that they get from the library, which I think is pretty cool.
So if I just happen to be driving through Door County randomly one day and I happen upon this library, I can actually just go in and get seeds.
You could.
That
Um,
is so cool.
it doesn't open until March. They don't have it stocked up again, and then there'll be a point
Sure.
where, it'll be pulled down. But so that deep part of winter, there won't be seeds there.
So there's other seed angels such as yourself that are collecting seeds and sending them in.
They are, and we also get distributions from all kinds of seed companies too. I mean, Baker Creek is a famous one we know has sent seeds. Um, Businesses have donated seed, and they're usually a year old, but we
Right,
gardeners know that most seed will last 3 to 5 years easy,
right.
except for those few exceptions like
Yeah.
parsnips and onion.
Which I found
Yeah.
out the hard way this year with the onions. I really pushed it on those, and yeah, didn't have a good harvest. So, is anybody particularly interested in like anything about seed saving or how to do it? Because I'm just going to say, start getting your questions out, and please type them just in all caps, so it's pretty easy for us to see them. But you can do that all throughout this. Just type it all caps, and we will get to it. So, Robin, how did you learn, or how did you start learning to save seeds?
YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah, I got on and just asked questions. And, sometimes when you're looking at the seeds and you're trying to figure out, well, what part of this blossom is the seed,
right.
you go on and ask for an image. Ask Google for an image of a zinnia seed, for example,
Right.
so you know what part is the seed.
Right. Because
And
sometimes it's not terribly obvious.
no,
Yeah.
more than one thing on that dried blossom looks like it could be the seed.
Right. And it's sometimes coverings that are over the seed. Now, in
Yeah.
those cases, well, they should still blossom, though, shouldn't they? Or should they should still germinate, even if there's a little covering over them?
Typically, yeah. I mean, take the seed down to the seed because I'm gifting them for
Right.
someone. So it needs to look like a seed package seed.
Right.
If you're saving it at home, you can dump the petals and all of that
Yeah.
stuff in there. Especially if you're just going to scatter so,
Right.
you don't need to take all the time to get the chaff out
Right.
of there. The
Right.
chaff is anything that isn't the seed.
Right. And that I've seen people do that with like fans blowing on it, and the chaff leaves and the seeds don't.
Right. I believe that's called winnowing,
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
do
But you
that.
got to be really uh, in touch with how strong that fan is.
Yeah, and
Some
some
of
of
these
this
seeds are so.
they're
Uh,
they're
yeah.
very light, and
Yeah.
it would take the seed along with the chaff. You
Yes.
know, honestly, I find this the most helpful. I have,
Okay.
all different kinds of sieves, so I can separate out the seed, the chaff. See, some of them have a little bit larger hole for
Sure.
various other. These are my best friend for seed saving,
Okay.
is to just have a series of that to help me out. Sometimes there's some seeds that are just they're just tough to separate the buckets or the chaff from the seed. So I'll put them in a white bowl, and then I'll just literally like pick up the chaff up the side of the bowl and get
Okay.
it separated from the seed, while I'm doing something else, a podcast or YouTube, you
Yeah.
know, and it goes pretty quick. And I have all winter because,
Well,
you
that's true.
know,
And if it doesn't open till March,
hmm
you have a minute,
I do.
and you save for yourself as well.
I do. I save for myself.
Okay. Now you don't save any F1s, do you?
I used to try, but they don't come true.
No.
So, I'm not that interested in trying anymore, but I'm very interested in land race gardening. I believe it has a new name now, but that's where, you're planting the vegetables together and you're trying to pick the strongest one that's going to dominate and survive in your little microclimate the best.
Okay.
Um, so that involves, some cross-pollination and so on and so forth. But I really still think that the heirlooms work best for that.
So if you were a brand new beginner at seed saving, what plant or vegetable or flower would you recommend?
To get started, I'd say marigolds.
Marigolds.
Um, and I just happen to have props
I knew
because
you would.
I love
I
my
knew you
props.
would.
So here's a marigold.
Hmm.
Now the seeds are starting to form right here under the blossom right now, but these are not viable right now. You're not going to get, anything to germinate from the seeds that are here right now. They're not ripe. Here's a marigold that's now started to die.
I was going to say on the other side of the hill.
Some of these might
Huh? Yeah.
germinate, but it's still not really ripe yet. Now, this is one that's dried off, and you can see it's turned brown, and now you have viable seed. And to save the seeds on here, there we go. If I go over my blouse, maybe, can you see that?
Yes.
Grab the pod where the seeds are firmly between your fingers and give it a good squeeze. And then just take those little dead blossom tips right off of there. And now you're left with a little pod that's holding the actual seed. And then now grasp that again and pull those out. And now see, you have, whoa, okay.
Sorry.
This is hard on camera. Now you have the seed.
It's
Those are,
amazing how many seeds you get from one marigold.
oh yeah, there's probably 30 seeds in one
Yeah,
head.
it's crazy.
And so the key for most seeds is just like this marigold is to make sure that it is good and dry.
Yeah.
And then after I pull them out, I actually put them on a tray and let them dry again before I package them up to make sure that they're really, really dry.
And moisture is like the kiss of death for seeds.
The absolute kiss of
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
So probably the second easiest would be dill. They call it dill weed for a reason. So this is, if you can imagine the flower head on the top of the dill, this is a nice dry, let me see if I can get that nice and close, seed on there. They'll be a little bit more puffy and fat when they're still drying off.
Okay, here, I'm going to see if I can make them bigger.
There we go.
Yes, that's much more. Yes.
See, they're nice and dry.
Yes.
If they're still a little puffy, they're not really ready yet. And then you can just, pull these seeds off and save them. They're your viable little seeds to save, or gift or whatever. And I'm going to tell you, saving seeds is great because your gardener friends are going to just love you to death. So I've got a pack of dill seeds that I've already been working on. My first round. That's my favorite variety, dill Ducat. It's the one that has the most fronds, the most foliage to eat. So, and look at how many seeds I can make. I can make 100 or more packs of seeds from that.
Yeah, that's a nice haul. Very nice haul.
So I'd say that's your second easiest thing to save.
Okay.
How about you? What do you think is the seed that is the easiest?
I think pepper seeds, if they're not F1s. But I realize I've been growing a lot of F1s just because I like them.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do have some classics, I mean, you just let it go as far as it's going to go. And okay, that's not edible. What is it? To market or to seed? Like, what are you raising this one for? Well, it's for seed. So you just let it go as ripe as it'll go before it's rotten, and then dry the seeds out. I mean, I find that much easier than even the tomato or any of the wet seeds that need a little work. I find that one or beans. I mean, is there anything easier to do than a bean?
Yeah, and like you just said, you have patience and let it dry on the vine.
Yes.
Let it become papery or maybe slightly, like, I guess you'd say maybe leathery, papery.
Yeah.
We live in a humid area, both you and I. So some seasons it's just too wet and you need to get, them off. I'll rip the whole vine off that has several almost dry things and then hang it in the garage and let it finish drying.
Sure,
If you know a rain is coming, you're going to want to pick those before that happens. I
because they
don't,
get nice and moldy on
yeah,
the outside.
I don't have any pods right now. I've done it, but like these are borlato beans or borlati beans,
Hmm.
and I did that. I've had to learn to do that for sure because there was a year where I couldn't get them at the store. Only one seed company that I have found, Frankie, sells them.
Okay,
And I've got one grocery store that sells them. Although I noticed that I have a nursery now that has a rack of Frankie,
okay.
so I may be able to get it now at one of my nurseries.
Yeah, I feel like I need to be bilingual though when I get Frankie seeds. Because, you turn over the bag and there's like no good way to read their thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, really? Yeah. So that's a good one you got to Google
Hmm.
because they're just not, but I love their stuff. But it's definitely, they don't cater to the English language, which I think we're also used to. Uh, so I think it's kind of humorous. Here, I'm gonna.
There's another one that's pretty easy in the flower world, and that's snapdragons.
Oh, you keep telling me that. We did
So
grow some this year.
you did?
Yeah, but you get them like crazy.
Yeah, it's my favorite. So this one is, on its way out. You can see the seed pods coming there where the flowers
Flowers.
finish,
Yeah.
but those seeds are not ripe yet. Uh, oh, I brought a little bug in with that today. Oof. And these are. So if I would take this and turn it upside down, it would be like a little pepper shaker, and I would get a bunch of really tiny
Oh, they're so tiny.
sesame seed looking
Oh my
uh,
goodness. I
seeds
think
fall
they're
out of that.
smaller than poppy seeds, those things. They are so
Uh,
small.
they are tiny. They're very
Yeah.
tiny. Uh, and you know, to get them to germinate well for you, they do like a little bit of cold stratification. Isn't
Yeah.
100% necessary, but if you know where you're going to put them outside, as soon as the snow melts and you see a little spot where you put them, just sprinkle them there. Don't cover them, just sprinkle them. And if it snows again on them, that's fine.
Yeah.
Uh, you'll have really good luck. That and poppy seeds if you do it that way as well.
Okay, well, you'll know I've gotten somewhere with them if I ever get to a point where I'm trying to save their seed. At this point, I can't buy enough seed to get out there and try to grow them. So yeah, oh, antirrhinums. That's right. That's also, I think, what other areas call them. But they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, tell
Yeah.
me your technique with tomatoes, tomato seeds.
There's two ways. So right now I have a few of these in every kind of a vessel that I own in the kitchen. I put these in there yesterday.
Does your
So I
husband ever accidentally drink any of this stuff?
it doesn't look that appealing.
I know. Could you imagine? What did I just drink?
So you can see I've got the seeds and some of the jelly part of the center of the tomato in water. And I did this yesterday, the 16th. And I will be looking to probably be done on the 18th, so 2 days or
Okay.
so later. Um, there's kind of a sweet spot I found. You don't want it to go too long or you risk them germinating. Uh, and this will, I don't know if you can almost see a little bit. There's a little bit of scum starting to form on the top there. That'll happen, and it's a little bit gross, but don't worry about it. It's normal. Then I'll take this and I will take one of my handy dandy sieves and strainers. I'll dump this in there and then I'll wash it, wash it, wash it, and all the gelatin and other junk will just flow through, and all I'll have is the seed. Then I'll take those seeds and I will lay them out. And my preferred way to do it is to lay it out on wax paper. They don't stick to the wax paper,
Yeah.
and let them dry really, really good. Sometimes if the house is really humid at the point I'm doing this, I'll put a fan on. I won't necessarily put the fan right on them, but I'll put the fan in the room near it. So it's just keeping the air circulating
Yeah.
and get them dried pretty quickly. And then I did a video on testing seed viability last year. I take these little takeaway containers with their little lids, and I put these makeup pads in there. You know, the cotton makeup pads,
Yeah.
little discs. I'll put them in there. And then I like to have a control. So I usually will put 10 seeds. So I can easily figure out my germination rate. If 8 of them germinate, then I know I have an 80% germination rate. But you wet this, you put the lid on and put it in a warm place. I have a little grate that I put over the forced air heating in the floor, and it warms it up, and then I can test my viability. And I had 100% viability on all of the tomato seeds that I saved last year. I thought that was pretty terrific.
That is pretty impressive.
Now, the other way that I've saved them before, if I'm just saving them for me, is take a piece of kitchen paper towel and just take those seeds out, rinse them underwater so you get most of the jelly off of them, and then just smear them across a paper towel. And you can even kind of place them at that point if it's just for you. And when you go to plant them, they'll still stick to that paper towel, but it doesn't matter. It's just for you.
Yeah.
And you can just rip a little piece of it and plant the paper towel plus the seed, and that works just fine. It's also kind of easy because you can, take a marker and write right on the paper towel what the
What it
seed
is.
is.
Yeah.
And it's fast, like wham wham fast. Not so pretty for giving away, to plant.
Well, and you probably don't want to do that for the seed library.
Oh no.
Although
Uh,
that would encourage them, like, look, this is how easy you can do this.
Yeah, but they're used to seeing what they get in the store. And if
Right.
if it doesn't look like what they're getting in the store, people are probably going to be reluctant. It's
Yes.
kind of like varieties too. I mean, I grow a lot of really cool varieties. And I've even had plants to try to give away and nobody wants them. They want the sweet 100s, the sun golds, the beefsteak, the early girl. They
Yeah.
want what they know,
Yeah.
you
See,
know.
those are the last things I want to grow
I know.
because I can go down the street and get it at the grocery store. So I
Exactly.
want the weird ones that would be really like you'd have to go to Whole Foods on steroids to get them.
Yeah,
You're just
exactly.
not gonna. What's that new place? Uh, Irwin, Irwan, like the most expensive grocery store in the United States.
Okay.
You have to go to a place like that probably to get all those varieties. But I'm thinking, no, I'm not gonna. I don't want to grow those. So those seeds don't do as well at the library, do they? Or you just don't even send them.
The what? At the
Those
library?
seeds, those seeds probably don't do as well at the library.
They don't. So the head of the Master Gardener group asked me to come speak there last year and talk about the seeds that I saved because,
Because they were all like going, "What are these?"
because
Yeah,
even the Master Gardener group was kind of,
yeah.
not as adventurous. And so, I described the tomatoes or whatever. And one of the ladies afterwards came up to me and she said, "You made it sound like tomato porn, the way you described
Well,
the tomatoes."
have you read the descriptions that come out of garden magazines? They almost are.
Oh, so yeah. But I mean my seeds all went,
Right.
but tomato seeds are sort of a labor of love. So I don't just save a ton of them.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. This this is something I love to save. This is arugula,
Radish. Oh, that's
or
arugula.
what, rocket. They call it
Rocket.
rocket in
Yeah.
England. And so these little pods are all dried up now, and if I would squeeze it, then I would get a whole load of seed coming out. And this is really easy to save too. Now, what I would do is I would cut the whole plant off and then put it upside down in a grocery bag, a paper grocery bag, and then just, set them in your shed or your garage or something and let them dry out for at least 2 months before you go at, you know, trying to save the seed. And then the chaff on this is really, really easy because it's big. You don't have a bunch of little crumbly stuff.
Okay, but assume that, okay, they're for you. You got to the end of the season. You don't have, you don't have the interest in taking those apart. You could really do that at planting time, couldn't you?
Oh,
Just,
absolutely.
just plant a row of them coming right out of that little pod.
And I have learned that, like with the arugula and the Mizuna mustard, I save a lot of them back for myself now because those are two that make delicious microgreens to grow in the winter inside. And since you turned me on to those little hemp squares,
Yeah,
that's how I do it. And we
because
just,
it's so clean.
oh, it's so clean and
No more
easy.
dirt in the kitchen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's nice.
So these make awesome microgreens, awesome
Isn't it
microgreens.
interesting? Is a radish? I wonder if a radish is related to arugula because that really reminded me of radish pods.
Yeah, those are so good
Oh,
though.
they're so good, aren't they? I think actually they're
I
better
wouldn't
than
give those
the
away.
radish. I think they're better than the radish. They're so good.
So tasty, those little
Oh,
pods.
yes. They're so now would that be something you would save for radish? Or you
Oh, I
save it
wouldn't
to
say
grow more
no,
pods?
no, because they're so tasty. I'm sorry, I'd eat those. They would not be saved. I'd have to grow so many that I was sick of it, and then I'd save some for someone else.
That is so awesome. Oh,
Oh,
that's really awesome. So
so
is
here,
there oh okay, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I've got more show and tell.
Which I'm loving that you have all this. Is there a seed that you find difficult to save?
Um, Not difficult, just kind of tedious if you want to get all of the chaff out of it.
Fussy.
Like I save the chive seeds, but sometimes getting
Oh,
all that chaff out of the chive seeds is just mm, it's tedious. And like I did leeks. This is a labor of love because I grew the seeds in 20 I mean I grew the plants in 2024. I overwintered them with a cold frame over top of the ones that I wanted to save the seeds. And
Okay.
then I let them go to seeds. Now, what a show. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Those are so beautiful. They're like 4 feet tall and they have these big heads on them. Pink, beautiful,
Yeah, aren't those beautiful?
heads. Um, but these are now my seeds and I'm letting them dry off more. Uh, and they'll just, eventually just shake right out of here, little black seeds. But that's a
You're
long
committed to a
process.
process. Yes.
It's 2 years basically to get those seeds to give away.
Oh, now here's a question I have for you.
Hmm.
Because onions and carrots, biennials, I can't overwinter a carrot here.
I can't either.
I'm not sure I can overwinter, and I guess I did overwinter some. So is it that I should just hope that some of mine bolt so I can produce the flower and get the seed, or
For
for
for the
onions
onion,
or carrots?
well,
But that's not really coming from a mature fruit then.
I think with the onion, you want the second year one because if you
Yeah,
took it, I mean, my idea is if you took it from one that bolted in the same year, do you really want to grow that one? Because it
yeah,
was a bolter. I want the one that
true.
did the normal cycle.
I want the one that didn't bolt. Thank you.
Yeah,
So how do
exactly.
you do that? Because you can't do 2 years of onion, can you?
No, so I left the ones that I planted in the ground and then I stuck my cold frame over top of it. So it was protected for the winter a bit.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't completely protected, but it was protected. And they
Oh my
came
lord,
back
yeah.
beautifully. Yeah. And those garlics that we did from row 7,
Oh,
I had left like 5 of them in the ground just for hoots to see if they would. And they actually came back and made me seed also, without covering, without a cold frame over them.
wow.
And then year before
Now, did they
last,
taste better?
um, I don't I don't know because I let those go to seed.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew them again from the row 7 seed this
sure.
year, and it still had the same outcome.
Okay.
They're fun. They have a little bit of garlic tinge to the leek.
Okay.
They're a strong leek. Would I go out of my way to get them?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just for fun, right?
Yeah.
So this is celery seed, and it's so teeny weeny weeny.
Oh, yeah.
I had a celery come back. And so I let it flower and then I saved the seed. And this is one celery plant. How many seeds I saved. So
That's insane.
that'll probably be 100 packs of seeds. Easy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This would have been given to the library last year, but I didn't know where I put it to dry off. I
Oops.
looked in all the normal places and it wasn't. It was put for safekeeping, but they'll get it this year. So, I mean, I've all kinds of things. Sweet peas. Now, if you're going to save your sweet peas, you need to let them dry off hard to the point where they're almost gonna pop before you save them to make sure you've got nice viable seed.
Okay.
Yeah. What else have I saved?
Well, I like the viability tests that you do on yours.
Yeah,
That
it's
would
it's a
give me so much more confidence that what I'm doing is actually going to work.
so I mean, I have some things that some plants I've saved this year. This is a purple argyratum. Those are those little like deer resistant little
Yeah.
plants.
Puffs, little
And
poops.
I've never saved them before. So I won't donate this to the seed library. I'm gonna plant them out for a year myself and make sure that, I did a good job and it all worked out.
Now, I
Oh,
did try this year to isolate
hmm
some of my zinnia seeds. Because I like a blast of color, not necessarily a million colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I plant, I want a bed of orange zinnias, like boom. I did that last year, and I didn't have great success with it because I think the pieces I didn't get the little chiffon baggie over it soon enough, maybe.
They're
But that,
promiscuous, hey?
I think the bees were hanging out a little early. So I got, multicolor. I did get a couple of those. But I wonder, is that like how early? Because they still have to be pollinated, don't they?
Yeah, I think I would.
Or
I think
no,
I
are
might
they
grow
just
that. The one that you really are excited about, I might like grow it off several feet away from the other ones
okay?
if you really want it to be pure.
Yeah,
My problem is sometimes I will save them. Like I have this pom-pom one that I save. Like, I don't know if that's the name for it, but it looks like a little pom-pom, so many petals. And it's really not the one that the butterflies and everybody enjoy. It's just the prettiest to look at. They like just the old-fashioned flat ones the
right,
most. Um, but they kind of revert to the white. So instead of
oh,
getting the fuchsia or the yellow, you get a lot of white. At least that's what I've found. This is another pretty easy one to save, Love in a Mist. It kind of looks like an onion seed. And
okay,
Nigelia, when they have that little bloom, but then they get that funky pod that's got the stripes on it that looks so cool. Um, let that dry off and dry off and dry off. And I would suggest not taking these inside because 9 times out of 10, there's some kind of bug inside that pod. But then it's like a salt pepper shaker. Just turn it over and they will shake out once they're dry. So they're an easy one to save. But again, that's one where I always find bugs and you don't want to bring those into your house. Oh, here's chive. So this is chive seed that I saved, and you can still see that although I've already given it a couple of rounds to get the chaff out,
sure,
I still have to work on getting more chaff out before I send those to the library. But, that's 75 packs of seed there,
right,
60, 75 packs. Peas. I think any of us gardeners or most of them in the chat right now have saved peas before. They're so easy. Again, the key is to let them dry hard on the plant. And then again, after I take them out, I spread them out on, like a cookie sheet and really let them dry before I put them in a Ziploc bag.
right.
Yeah. What else do I have in here? Oh, this one's another one that's in testing phase. This is my Montauk daisy. Have you ever seen a Montauk daisy? It's the daisy that it's just putting on its head right now. It's the last one in the fall that
Okay,
blooms. So when you see that really late daisy in a garden, it's a
okay,
Montauk. So I'm testing to make sure that my seeds are viable and they'll
okay.
grow. And then that's an easy one to save if it works for the seed library. Uh, bachelor's buttons.
Mm,
I still have a lot out there to do, but they're funny little seeds that come out of the pod. Each of those little like it looks like a little grouping of seeds. That's the seed. A little different, but yeah. Uh, And then, for packing them up, there's all kinds of things available on Amazon. They have these little paper ones, which are easy peasy. Now, I have found that, it has a seal it, but I found that if you take a kid's glue stick and do it, you get a better seal
Yeah.
if you're looking to save it for yourself. But that's easy peasy. You know, if you're looking for something on Amazon, I do all of mine in a little mini Ziploc bag. So this is a arugula or rocket seed. So see, I I mean, I actually give people more seed than you would get in a commercial
Oh,
pack.
absolutely. I'm like, that's a lot of seed.
Um, and then, you know, I make a little label with the instructions on it. This one, you know, gives them the days to germination, how long it takes to mature, to get to maturity, the planting depth, the spacing, how big it gets. Is this backwards?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to do the change the mirror
The
image
third thing.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So I
think
try,
we're all good at reading backwards.
yeah. So these are here in the States, it's Avery labels. And so Avery has a template that you go out to get so that you can, you know, pound out a bunch
That
of
looks
those.
very professional. If I saw
Yeah.
that in the seed library, I'd be like, and I'd also be impressed with the amount of seeds.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just want to go, these are for microgreens. Like, oh yeah,
They like me because I package my own seeds and it, you know, it doesn't have to become part of the seed event.
okay, because they're you could just send a seed and they pack them.
Yeah, that's what most
Oh,
people do.
okay.
I just pack my
Well,
own.
aren't you like a lovely person to have on staff?
I need something to do in the winter, right? So this is like what they typically do for a seed package at the library with the
Okay.
seeds that they put together. So it's just a, you know, an envelope. Uh, this is what Steve does um, over at Digwell Green Fingers. He uses these little glassine envelopes.
Hmm.
Is that translating on the? Can you
Yes.
see it?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like a wax paper
Right.
envelope, and then he puts his little sticker after he folds it over. That works out good. And our favorite, Wild Boar Farms, you know, the gods of tomato,
Yes.
Brad, um, they use the same kind of package that I do, you know,
Yep.
same size, and they have their little Wild Boar Farms, you know, logo on there. But you can use anything. You don't have to get fancy. I had some really old airmail envelopes that were really not usable anymore, and I just cut it down and made another little envelope to save seeds in.
Yep.
You can get, you know, get creative. Important part is to keep them dry. Keep them dry and a little cool.
I caught out of my left eye something that Mama Oasis said, and I thought, what a cute idea. Uh, she made a few friends advent calendars.
Oh, how nice.
What a lovely idea.
That is
But the
cool.
last thing any of us want or need in the holidays is another thing filled with chocolate or alcohol. Okay? Give me seeds. That is such a clever idea.
I like that.
I might imitate you, which is the greatest form of flattery, right? And do that
Yeah,
myself this year. That
absolutely.
is a very cute idea. I hope I remember that because that is a really cute idea.
I have a friend who uses pill bottles, but for me, that takes up too much room. You know,
Well, then you gotta store them, and you gotta.
mhm,
It's like spices in your house, right? There's only so much room to keep them.
mhm.
I wish that were not a true fact, but it is a true fact.
It is. It is.
And they get limited. Okay, and one more question about squash.
Hmm.
Now, my understanding is if you grow squash anywhere near other squash, they have all already cross pollinated.
Well, they could. Um, they certainly could. Uh, I grew an F1 butternut in my center circle, and I grew the cushaw. You know, the squat.
Yeah,
Oh, let me show you. Did you see it? Let me go. Let me show you.
please,
Oh,
please show us. I think I did see this.
I have three of these babies.
Oh,
They're about 10, all of them are right around the same poundage, right around 10
nice.
pounds. So I've got three of them that are for us to eat, and then I have one that was left for the nibblers to. They'd already nibbled it, so it's left as a sacrifice, but it's outside still, but I'll get the seeds from that one. Um,
As long as they didn't lick your seeds.
I don't think they got that far in yet.
Okay,
It's just the outside. I don't want to eat the flesh though.
no.
But um, this is an heirloom, so this one I can save. The butternut, that's an F1.
Okay, so is that? I thought it was even heirlooms, which
Oh,
I
I
did,
think
which I didn't understand
no,
because
they
I
could.
thought if the heirloom was going to cross pollinate,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
understand that peppers are pretty promiscuous too. They, you know, you're gonna get a bunch of cross pollination if you do. But yeah, this one was that one that was developed by Cornell University.
Isn't it pretty?
And I mean, it produces as long as I can get them protected from the squirrels because they go mad for
That's
these,
like a perfect for two people.
isn't it? Now, I mean, I would try maybe to save the seeds and grow it and see what happens, even though it's an F1. But I'll tell you, when it comes to butter, this is like radish pods.
Yeah.
The seeds, I like to take the seeds and I roast them with a little bit of avocado oil on them. And then, you pick your favorite spices. For me, it's usually salt, pepper, and maybe a little paprika. Ooh, roasted butternut seeds.
I've never done those.
Oh, they're delicious. You can scatter them on the top of a butternut soup. You can just eat them. Yeah, we wouldn't be saving those seeds because they're too yum yum. Some
Oh,
squash seeds are, like a delicata. If you roast them, they're okay. They're okay. But butternut seeds are delicious.
but delicatas are one of my favorite squash.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, like you can almost do anything with those. Eat the inside, eat the outside, whatever. They're fabulous. No.
Absolutely. So I
So the
um
question about the squash,
mhm.
um, and I know that's also considered a wet fruit. So do you do anything special with those seeds?
Yeah, when I do save them, I wash them up really good
Okay.
at the sink in a strainer, a sieve, and get all that stringy matter off of them. Then I lay them on a cookie sheet and I dry them. And again, depending on how humid the house is, I will have a fan going in the room to make sure that the air circulates so that they dry pretty quickly. I don't put the fan right on them, but I have it circulating so it's gonna,
There's some
you
air
know,
movement. Yeah.
air movement. Yeah. So this is another one. If you've ever grown purple this is the annual salvia. Um, but I can't get that one out of you can see the purple,
Uh huh.
that would have been all that purple top. So if I take this right now where all of these have dried off and turn it upside down, I will get a bunch of little uh black seeds, and they look like chive seeds, onion seeds.
Okay, so they're tiny.
And so you never have to buy once you buy a 6 pack of purple salvia at the store, you never have to buy it again. You will have it in buckets forever. I have here's an alyssum. If anybody grows alyssum,
Love alyssum.
there's one still in bloom, just starting to put its pods on. And then there's the pod when it's dry with the seeds. And again, you never have to buy alyssum again
Because that
because
stuff just keeps coming back. It is. It's like chamomile. Like how it's almost like you have to try to get rid of it because it makes itself a weed.
well, yeah, it's promiscuous, yeah. But oh, I have it
Okay, that's my new favorite saying now for
I
these
have
scrappy little seeds.
I have it coming up my walkway to the front door, and especially if the air is really heavy that day, like right before a rain or something. Oh my goodness, the smell as you
Oh,
walk into the front door is just, it's amazing.
yeah, no, I think it's intoxicating, really.
Yeah. So many flowers are lovely and have a good smell, but you got to get your nose right near them to get
Yeah,
that smell. Like I have some lovely roses in the back, but I got to get my nose really close to them to get that smell. Alyssum,
it just fills the air.
it just fills the air. Uh,
So, do you
I think I
dump
did all my. I think
your
I've done
your,
all.
your dying plant parts? Do you
Mhm.
put those just in grocery bags to let them continue to dry so they don't get mixed?
So I have
I
in the
can't imagine the setup you have.
in the well, I as soon as I can get them dry, then I get them
Right.
packaged up. But in the garage, I have two bed sheets. One is full of Mizuna and one is full of arugula drying out in the garage.
Okay.
Um, and I think right now that's it. I am hoping that I saved an oodle load of those Anaheim peppers, and they were in demand. The seeds last year, they went quick, and my Anaheims are just turning red now. But I have two plants, and they are loaded. I mean, I can make 200 packs of seeds if I get you know them to ripen. But
Or a
they're
lot of really yummy things if you just eat all those Anaheims.
a lot of yummy things. My
Yeah.
fa- my favorite thing though last year was I dehydrated it and then powdered it.
Mm.
Talk about a flavor bomb.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah. My neighbor's gonna smoke some of my peppers for me this year.
good.
He's got this big, huge smoker. He said, just bring him over. So I'm gonna. I have. I think this has been a really good pepper year because, like yours, my peppers are loaded, and
They
we have
loved it.
been uh, harvesting them for quite some time, but they just keep producing. So I thought, okay, I now want to do that, freeze dry them, and make them into powders, so I can just add them to things. Because there's nothing like smoked pepper to me. When I add chipotle to things, I just want to go. It's a game changer.
So I wanted to smoke the paprika. I did Hungarian Mygar, Maygar, I think, paprika, and then the Alma paprika.
Hmm.
Well, I had sent that Mygar to Danny because he wanted, a Hungarian paprika. And he says it has a natural smoky essence to it. He's already, dehydrated and made the
He's already used
powder.
it. He's already down
Hmm.
the road.
Mine,
Okay,
mine are still in the freezer.
Dan is an overachiever. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I think he was in the chat too. I was trying to keep up with it. So
I think
maybe,
he was at one point. Yeah,
yeah. Well, we're at the hour.
we are.
Hard to
Oh,
believe that went like super fast.
yeah.
It's so nice to see you.
It's so great to,
You are
we're
just like
back.
your volumes of knowledge. And I will think of you every time I now look at one of my bolted, uh, or just stuff that's gone to seed because it's their time.
Hmm.
And think of you now differently, going, need to save that seed. So I'm going to try to give it a good shot here this fall.
You
There's
know,
still
that's
enough out there.
that's the thing that's hard though, Audrey. You got to stop deadheading. And you want to keep deadheading so you still have the show. But there's a point in August where you have to say, okay, I am now done deadheading and we're going to seed.
Well, and I wonder if you could just, maybe for me, this would be helpful. I would just pick one plant. This is the plant I'm just dedicating for seed saving. So tie a ribbon on it, go, we're just letting this baby go. And so that decision's already made. I don't have to worry about it. Of course, it may not be your biggest plant, so we're
Yeah,
not going to do it with your biggest, prettiest plant.
it is. It's just like with garlic. If you want a nice big bulb, you've got to
Yeah,
choose
so
the biggest
maybe,
cloves.
so maybe that's a call you make at the end of August, and you tie a ribbon on and go, we're done with you. We are saving you for posterity.
Hmm.
Is it posterity? Yeah, it is posterity. All right, well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Always
you.
lovely to see you. Thank you to all of our chatters. I will go back and read this later because there was just no way. We were just chatting too much today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you give seed saving another look see. Oh, I did also want to say I have a resource that I have liked, and it is from Seed Savers Exchange.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's just called Seed Savers Exchange. And they have um, tutorials that you can watch. They have checklists. They have, here's how you do this kind of seed, how you do that kind of. It's just a really good basic resource. If you need, or come back and listen to this 10 more times. Well, you guys have a good week. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye. Bye, everyone.